Hey everybody, today I'm going to show you a prime example of why it's very important to keep your computer cleaned out. Here's the parts home theater PC, and it's been in service for a little over a year. And not to mention, a few weeks ago we just installed a hardwood floor and we had to do a lot of sanding. And the TV was of course still in the living room, and this is where the hardwood floor was getting installed. So this computer got subjected to all that sanding does. So this thing is very, very filthy. Gonna pop the cover off, let you have a look inside here. Have a look inside the CPU heatsink. Have a look at the power supply. The fan on the power supply. I mean, just have a look at the motherboard itself. You can see the dust sitting on top of the capacitors and the MOSFETs, screws, everything. Have a look at this fan. Lots and lots of filth. I'll go ahead and turn this thing around and you can have a look at the very back of it. Just have a look at that. Lots and lots and lots of dust. Have a look inside the power supply. If you can really tell now, it's kind of difficult to see in there with the vent. Power supply is not as bad as I thought it would be. You think this is bad. I've seen computers that had worse dust accumulations in them. That have more dust in them. In particular, when you get dust in the CPU core like this, when it gets completely clogged up, the CPU will overheat. And it's not really good to get a whole bunch of dust in your power supply either. So I'm going to go ahead and fire up the air compressor and clean this thing out. Get ready to watch the dust fly. You can already see a big difference. Okay, it's time for a little comparison. Notice the big difference. Looks like a brand new computer now. Normally I don't let my computers get this dirty, but in this case, like I said, I was having a hardwood floor installed. And of course, sanding the floor put dust all over everything. Have a look at the power supply. Notice how much cleaner the back side of this machine is now. Notice the fan is a lot cleaner. All the connections are much cleaner. I can't stress it enough just how important it is to keep a small form factor computer like this clean. Because when you cram components into this itty bitty amount of space, you subject these components to a lot of heat. Which this is a micro ATX small form factor case, and these aren't as bad as some others I've seen in terms of cramped up space. A lot of computers from Dell are only about, let's say, this tall. The expansion cards only come to about here. Then you really start talking about cramped up space inside the computer, because you get everything that small, you more or less turn the computer into a toaster oven. Which luckily the motherboard in this machine has good quality capacitors on it, so I haven't had any capacitor issues. Same goes for the video card and TV tuners. I got a laptop hard drive inside this thing. I have to glue it back. It's a little bit loose because in this machine my parents don't record much TV shows. This is really their machine that sits on top of their TV. They don't record TV shows that often, and when they do record them, they watch them and then delete them, so they don't need that much space. This thing only has like a 120 gig hard drive in it. I just happened to have a laptop hard drive, so I stuck it in here as all I had available. Not to mention, doing this helps the computer be more energy efficient. Anyways, that's another reason why it's very important to keep your computer cleaned out. Now is a good example of what computers look like when I receive them for service. Have any questions or comments? Feel free to ask.